Hello there, Star Wars CCG fans. So I thought I would share a deck with you guys this is the exact deck that I played at U.S. Nationals a few weeks ago, and I did quite well at U.S. Nationals. I got 10th place, which was much better than expected because I do not play a lot of the open format, which is the format with the virtual cards, the new cards that the Players Committee creates. I mostly play the retro, the old school events with the Cypher cards. As if you watch any of my videos, you probably know that. But so I did better than expected, and a big reason that is because of this invasion deck that I played. So I'm going to share that with you. I did also get second place in the Friday night event at the Premier Death Star 2 event, so that was cool too. But yeah, this will be my first time going over a deck with virtual cards in it. So yeah, I don't play, like I said, don't play it a ton, but I do play some. And since Nationals was in town, I definitely wanted to give it a go, and definitely a very fun time. If you have a chance to go to one of these major events, if it's in your town, I think you should do it. Like, people there are fun. It's just, it's a bunch of people that just love Star Wars, love playing Star Wars CCG. And I mean, most people are just geeked, just excited to be able to play the game. So yeah, I mean, if you love this game, if you love the cards, like I said, if there's an event in town, do it. Even if you don't think you're going to do very well, you'll probably have a good time. So let me show you some cards that I like showing, some cards that I collected. I do mostly, I'm definitely a player, but I definitely do some collecting also. So some cards that I got recently that I wanted to share with you. This Premier Blue Turbo Laser Battery. How about that for a print error card, huh? So cool. I couldn't, gosh, could you imagine having Darth Vader like that? That'd be so nuts. And then I got this Fear will keep them in line. Quite the print errors, huh? So print errors, miscuts, that kind of stuff has been stuff that I've been trying to get when I can lately. That's kind of like some of my favorite things to collect, and I like miscuts or errors that are playable because I love playing with those kind of cards in my decks. And then I got a Premier Devastator, and I got a couple of Hoth Darkside R1s, which are extremely, these cards are extremely rare and hard to find, but there's been some softness in the Japanese market for cards lately. Like the last 6 months or so. So I kind of took that opportunity to snag some of these cards when I got the chance. I love AT-ATs, so this has kind of been one of my favorite cards, or cards that I've wanted to get for quite a while. And then this Tyrant's just cool, Starship. Devastator I actually got in a lot that I randomly bought off of eBay, and it was in the lot, which there was I don't know, maybe a couple other Japanese cards in the lot, like commons, and crazy enough, there was this Japanese Devastator in there. So that was cool because this card alone was like the value of the lot. So anyway, okay. So let's get into the invasion. So I'm gonna share a deck with you. This is something that's not really something that I've noticed is not done very often. The real serious players, the thing about the open format is that there are definitely some very serious, very competitive players in it, and they do not really share a whole lot when it comes to their decks and tips about playing the decks and stuff like that. So I'm going to do something that's a little bit uncommon here and share this stuff with you. So Invasion, there were 4 people at Nationals that played Invasion, and all 4 of us were in the top 10. So Invasion did very well at Nationals, which was kind of a surprise, I think, to a lot of people. The overall record, people playing Invasion, was 12-4, I believe. So another thing is that Obi Communion was by far the most popular light side deck. I think 1/3 of the players there were playing Obi Communion for their light side deck, and Invasion happens to be, I didn't really know this. But Invasion happens to be quite good against Obi Communion. I played against it three times. 3 of my 4 matches were against Obi Communion. So anyway, start off, we got the invasion objective. Let's see. Main thing is, you can't play cards except basically unless they have Trade Federation in their lore, or they are droid starships. So it kind of limits. Essentially you have to play the prequels characters from episodes 1, 2, and 3, which is fun because I like those movies. So that's, again, kind of a big reason why I like the Invasion deck. I do like those movies. One of the things about these virtual cards, for me, it is very hard to play decks that center around episodes 7, 8, and 9, for example, because I just, those movies, I did not enjoy those movies, so I just don't enjoy playing the decks that center around those cards. I know I'm not alone on that, but anyway, okay. When you flip this objective, a lot of good things happen. You'd flip it by controlling the Theed Palace throne room with a Nemoidian there and controlling the Naboo system. And then when you flip, good things happen. You lose no more than 2 force to any force drain. Your battle droids play -1. If you have 2 droids with different card titles, or a droid and a Nemoidian in a battle at a site, you draw 2 battle destiny if unable to otherwise. Your droid starfighters immune attrition less than 3. Opponent just drew an interrupt for battle destiny. You may place that card out of play, and that comes in pretty handy too, especially late game when people are keeping those interrupts with high destiny numbers. You get into battle and you get those cards out of the game. It helps a lot. So so the objective helps you or allows you to deploy the Naboo system. So we've got the virtual version of the Naboo system. Nice thing about this is if you control it with a droid starship, your force generation is +1. Again, this is the Players Committee. This is a virtualized card. If you're not very familiar with virtual cards, like one of the things, this is an example of a card where the Naboo system was printed by Decipher, and the Players Committee did some revisions to it, kind of really to make it more playable, and it's definitely more playable in Invasion decks. So it adds, again, add in 1 to your force drain if you got it controlled with a droid starfighter or starship. So here we go. Here's our droid starship. So you again start the game. The objective lets you start the game with this at the Naboo system. Big thing here is it lets you deploy a Nemoidian pilot aboard once per game from reserve deck. So a lot of times my first turn is going to be getting that Nemoidian pilot. Most games that's going to be the plan. First turn, go get Captain Dalte Dauphine and get him on there so that when you do flip, you're kind of ready for a battle in space if you need to be. It lets you play the droid racks. So during the droid racks, if a battle droid was just lost, you may place it here, and then during your control phase, you may use 2 force to take a battle droid from here into hand. So battle droids die, they go there. You put them on the droid racks, and then you take them into your hand on your next control phase, and then probably play them again. Got the swamp. Nothing much here except if you control with a battle droid, your force drains are +1. Comes in handy when you're playing. We got the starting effect for the defensive shields, of course. And then we've got prepared defenses, a starting interrupt to get us 3 effects into play right away. One of the effects that I played is begin landing your troops and fire straight ahead. This one also adds 1 to your force generation if you occupy a Naboo system with a droid starship. So again, adds another force to your generation, and then it does one of the other nice things it does in particular is Republic characters of ability less than 4 are forfeit +2. So like your Nemoidians essentially are going to be forfeit +2 with this out, so that's kind of nice. And then it lets you go get a Coruscant docking bay too, so that also is going to help with force generation. All right, so then we got inconsequential losses and an entire legion of my best troop. And these 2 are both in here to help out to do silly things with your battle droid blaster rifles. They make the battle droid blaster rifles can be forfeited with a forfeit value of 3 during battle, and then they go to your used pile. So not only do you get to forfeit them for 3, but then they go to your used pile where you can keep track of where they're at so that you can keep track of those big destinies. Because entire Legion of My Best Troops adds 2 to the destiny when A blaster rifle, stormtrooper utility belt, or blaster scope are drawn for weapon or battle destiny. So this effect makes your battle droid blaster rifles, which are already a destiny number of 6, they are now a destiny number of 8 when drawn for weapon or battle destiny, which is just bonkers. So I've got 7 battle droid blaster rifles in here, and it's just a big thing. The deck heavily revolves around those battle droid blaster rifles, drawing them for destiny. So we do have some battle. So let's start with our battle droids. I got 3 of the B2 battle droids. These are players committee. These are the players committee created battle droids that really kind of beefed up the strength of battle droids and in general for invasion decks. They draw a destiny if unable to otherwise, and then attrition against opponents is +1 here. So they're very strong. I've got 2 security battle droids in here. Again, when you flip the objective, if you have two battle droids with different names in the battle, you can draw 2 destiny. So that's kind of why they're in here. They're very cheap. They're only 2 to deploy, and if you're flipped, then they're only 1 to deploy. So very cheap to take off your droid racks and then deploy them. And then I've got 1 battle droid officer floating around in here. So again, just so I can get different battle droids at a battle, get those destiny draws. 2 Lord Sidious. He's just very strong. Let's see, you can once per game you can go get a Nemoidian with him, so that's awesome. And then the other thing is, if opponent just initiated a battle, he may exclude 1 character of ability less than 6 present. So I like to put him down at the throne room whenever possible, and people really struggle attacking into Lord Sidious because of that ability to exclude a character from battle. So he is great. He's best if you can get him in the throne room. You're gonna be in good shape at the throne room if you do put him there. So got 2 of him in there. 3 Lord Maul with lightsaber, super strong character. He's got his permanent weapon, and then he also adds 1 to your battle destiny draws, and also adds 1 to your force drains. So you can put him at some of those Naboo sites and force drain for 3. So 3 of him, super strong card. Now we get into our Nemoidians here. So Captain Dalte, like I said, first turn usually I'm going to try and get him onto the blockade flagship. Tei Hao, really strong pilot. When he's on a battleship, you can reduce the force drains at a system within 2 parsecs of Tei Hao by using X force to reduce the loss by X. So if people want to try and control other systems nearby Naboo, they're going to have troubles force draining there. 2 Newt Gunray. He's awesome. He's, hopefully you're going to have him and Sidious at the throne room, and people are not going to be able to mess with you very well at the throne room if that's the case. Nice thing with him is if he's with a Republic character or character with Trade Federation lore, you may add 1 battle destiny, and he's also immune to attrition less than 3. So he's really good with Sidious. Darth Tyrannus, I don't know, he's just a strong character. I put 1 of them in here because he's strong. He's got Trade Federation lore. Yeah, one nice thing is during battle he can cancel and redraw an opponent's just drawn destiny, so that's kind of a handy little ability that he has. And then he's also immune to Sorry About the Mess, which is very important because Sorry About the Mess is played a lot. General Grievous, he steals a lightsaber from your opponent's lost pile. So he's kind of somebody that are typically kind of want to just hold him for late game and then play him at a good time. Go get a lightsaber from your opponent's lost pile, put it on him, and kind of can shut down and kind of clamp down the game for you. Admiral Trench, good pilot. He'll help you. Sometimes it can be, if you're playing against somebody with a strong space deck, it can be really tough to keep control of the Naboo system. And so he's kind of there to help control the Naboo system, or maybe delay the inevitable of losing it, at least delay it long enough so that you can do a lot more damage before you lose the Naboo system. And then we've got 4 LOM with concussion rifle. So one of the things about virtual cards that I've learned is it's actually a lot easier to stack and track destinies, I think, than it is in the retro format. 4 LOM is a big part of that, and then we've got his counterpart 3PO with his part showing. My honest opinion is that both cards should be banned because they just make stacking destinies way too easy. And like, for example, the last game that I played against Dennis, a really good player, my opening hand, I drew 3 Battle Droid blaster rifles in my opening hand and 4 LOM. And other than so it's a terrible hand. You don't want to have 3 Battle Droid blaster rifles in your starting hand, so it's really just a terrible hand. But because I had 4 LOM, put him down right away, and then got the Battle Droid blaster rifles back in my deck and drew other stuff that was handy. But then along with that, he just allows you to stack your destinies so easily. You know, once per turn, you may place a card from hand on the bottom of your used pile. So once you start getting like mid-game, you are activating so much force, and I mean, you can put a really high destiny card on the bottom of your used pile at the end of your opponent's turn, and during your turn, you know, use it for battle destiny or weapon destiny. Like I said, it's super easy to stack destinies in open, I think. So anyway, got one of him in there because he's just too strong, and then double back lets you go get 4 LOM. It's a used interrupt that lets you go get 4 LOM. So that's the whole reason this is in there. Guk, the most powerful card in your deck. A lot of the open format with virtual cards, a lot of it is just trying not to get blown out, and Guk is going to help you do that. Like I said, it is the most important card in the deck. If you have Guk in your hand, you have so much flexibility to do so many things, especially with this deck. People are just constantly trying to put you in a position where they're going to blow you out in a battle, overflow you by 10, 15 damage, and you know, kind of just win the game that way or right there pretty much. Like I said, that's Guk. Some of the game, the game that I lost with this deck, I mean, basically I lost that game because I did not have Guk in my hand, and the opponent did a couple of things and was able to get an advantage to blow me out, essentially, and that's the game that I lost. Otherwise, every other game, there was always a battle where I lost by a lot, and because of some sort of shenanigans or craziness. But I had Guk, so it wasn't a big deal. Lost that battle, but won the game because, yeah. So anyway, Guk is just way too powerful. Masterful Move helps you go get Guk, but it also does a couple. It cancels the celebration cards, and I didn't really know this, but until I played. But Obi communing decks use Tatooine Celebration. So this comes in handy not only for searching for that Guk and getting it, but also canceling Tatooine Celebration. We Must Accelerate is only in here just for the 3 Force to take an effect in the hand from reserve deck. Force Push does a couple of things, and so you just, like most dark side decks, play one copy of 1 Force Push in every deck. And then 2 Imperial Commands, because we got Admiral Trench and we got General Grievous. So Imperial Command, you can do, you know, either add a destiny or limit destinies. Switch Off. This is cancel an attempt to steal, destroy, or capture one of your droids. Plus, it's got a destiny number of 6. Oh gosh, just great card. Use it so much. You'll try shooting your battle droids with a blaster or lightsaber, and you just play that card, and then they're essentially immune. So, Sniper and Dark Strike, super handy. There they are. This lets you go get battle droids. Really strong card. People probably should have grabbed that card. Nobody ever did, but I mean, there were games where I used that card 3 times because they did not grab it right away. Anyway, we got an altar and collateral damage in here. That did come in handy once. Somebody tried sensing a card, really strong card once, and I altered their sense. I've got 1 sense floating in here. Phantom Menace. Course from Irritating. A couple of starships. And then we've got the other Naboo sites. So yeah, it's a fun deck. I recommend it.